Welcome back to the Empire Builders Podcast. Dave Young here with Stephen Semple, and today's topic, Wham-O. It's from Wham-O. Uh, in all the toy stores. I'm trying to think, Slinky wasn't Wham-O, was it?
No,
What?
Slinky was not Wham-O.
Yeah, I'm trying to
So
think of
the
what Wham-O was.
Frisbees, hula
Frisbees.
hoops, all
Okay.
sorts of crap, right?
I didn't realize the Frisbee was a Wham-O product. I mean, I remember the name, I remember the ads, and it's a cool name.
Yeah, well, it's so funny. Wham-O was Frisbee, hula hoops, slip and slide, Super
Okay.
Ball, all of those
Probably lawn darts.
sorts of things were Wham-O. But what I find funny is before getting on, we were talking about this whole thing of sounds and things like
Yeah.
that and communication. And then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about a company whose name actually
Mhm. Mhm.
has that real kinetic feel of Wham-O."
Mhm. I love a name that is also a sound, and, if we have time, I'll tell you about a client I'm working with that we changed the name of the company to make it a sound.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, the other ones that they did, Hacky Sack and Silly Strings were a couple of the
Were
other
were were
ones.
they responsible for lawn darts? That's my question.
I'm not sure if they're responsible for lawn darts. So since it didn't come up, I
Maybe not.
guess
Yeah. Yeah.
probably not. The company started in 1949 out of, basically like a lot of these things out of the garage in South
Mhm.
Pasadena. And it was Richard Knurr and Arthur Mellon, who are basically two university graduates, started this company. And their first product was a slingshot, was a
Okay.
wooden slingshot made from ash wood. And the name Wham-O was actually inspired by the sound of the slingshot
Yeah.
hitting a target.
You
Wham-O.
release it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
that's
satisfying.
but here's the funny thing is, it wasn't originally the idea behind making it was not actually a toy.
Mm.
They loved training falcons, and it was to train falcons for
A
hunting.
slingshot.
They would
Oh,
shoot the meat
okay.
into the air. They got frustrated that the regular slingshot wouldn't fire it the way they wanted to do it, so they made their own.
So they made a meat slingshot. It
Meat slingshot.
turns out there wasn't a huge market for meat slingshots, so, you pivot, and put it in the hands of children
Well,
eventually.
right? It's the 1950s, dude.
Uh-huh, that's right. You're gonna put an eye out. Well, somebody already did, um,
Be careful with that hamburger you're
but that
firing
was their
around there.
fault, not ours. Yeah. Those were the days, right? When
Right.
the manufacturer could say, "Well, that's your fault. You
Yeah.
should have been an idiot." Um,
What'd you expect a rock to
yeah.
do? But again, like so many businesses, it started with them just solving their own problem, and their own problem was they wanted this thing. But what they found out, they created one that was so good that all of a sudden it was like, wow, people became interested in this.
Was it the
And
wrist
so they
rocket? Or is
you
it
know what?
like I don't know if that's the same kinda.
I wasn't able to find
Okay.
pictures of the original thing around, right? So because it didn't do particularly well, but it
Yeah.
kinda put them onto a path because very quickly they added blowguns and boomerangs,
Nice.
right? But the whole idea was these types of things, and they get to the stage with these various products, so they've got the slingshot, they got the blowgun, they got the boomerang, they got these little niches going on, and they're selling basically $100,000 a year of this stuff. But they're thinking to themselves, if we're gonna really make this a business, we need a bigger idea. And I'm gonna say, if you're gonna really make this a business, you need an idea which is not gonna put somebody's eye out. Like
Probably, but this is again, like you said, the 1950s. Yeah.
1950s. Really no seat belts, like, oh,
Uh-huh.
come on now.
Damn it, the BB gun's already invented. Uh,
You know it's funny. When we think back to how we were with safety and things like that, one of my really fond memories, now this wouldn't have been the '50s, this would be the '70s,
yeah.
but one of my really fond memories of being a kid was we would we would, like, we'd be hauling stuff somewhere, and we had this old green wood trailer with oversized tires on it that bounced like crazy when you were
Uh-huh.
driving down the road, and one of the funnest thing is we would go somewhere and coming home, all the kids would pile into the trailer in the back as we're driving down
And
the road.
you'd you'd be you'd be the ballast to hold down the sheets of plywood. Yeah, well, who needs tie downs when you've got 200 pounds of children?
And the weird thing is, it's not like anybody thought that was
No.
weird. That was what you do.
Yeah, and and if you weren't on the trailer, you were riding, you were sitting on the edge of a pickup with your
Exactly.
back to the road.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Anyway, back to Wham-O. They're needing a bigger idea, and while they're on the beach, they come across this flying disc called Whirlaway,
Okay.
right? So, and they decide they also found another one called Pluto Platter, right? So, it didn't work. It wasn't really selling.
Hmm.
And so Wham-O, they buy the rights to this. They go, "Look, we'll buy the rights to this." They make a few couple of design changes, and Morrison saw this people, also tossing these metal pie tins, right?
Oh,
And so
okay.
that was actually where he came up with a little bit of the design change. He kinda looked at that and went, "Oh, this is much better than this Pluto platter thing."
You drop the edge down and balances itself a little bit better and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and one of the pie plates they came across, guess what the name of the pie plate was?
Frisbee maybe? Yeah?
Bingo,
Okay.
Frisbee.
So they buy that too or just
They just trademarked that because it wasn't trademarked, so they went and
okay.
trademarked the Frisbee name. And in the first 2 years, they sell 1,000,000 Frisbees,
Wow.
right? And what they did to promote it, so here's the really cool idea. They go to university campuses,
Mhm.
and they also gave it to people, and people, guess what, immediately found on university? Cool ways to do tricks and stuff with the
Mhm.
Frisbee.
Mhm.
Right? So that then got it going, and look, this was pre-social media days. Imagine what you'd be able to do today
Yeah.
in terms of demonstrating all this crazy stuff on
Well, you'd
on
have to
on
get
social
people off
media.
their phone.
Yeah, I guess. But what they have now is they have a way of creating ideas, and what they realized was they had to look for things and just make them better. So they created this open door policy. They would listen to anybody. Come pitch an idea, we'll listen. So the next one was a neighbor had come back from Australia with this bamboo exercise hoop, and you had to use it doing a movement like a hula dancer.
Yeah, okay.
And so they do a handshake deal, and if it's a hit, we're gonna give you royalties, and instead they make it out of this lightweight, colorful plastic, and they put little beans inside
Mhm.
so that it makes a sound, and also has a little
Absolutely, yeah.
bit different feel to
Mhm.
it. They took this idea to parks, and they
Mhm.
demonstrated it. And what am I talking about, Dave? What's the name of the toy?
Oh,
What's the name of
it's
the
the
toy?
hula hoop. Yes.
Bingo! Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the hula hoop. And in 1958, they launched the hula hoop, and it's the biggest toy fad in history.
Yeah.
And I think it still is.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I
it
think
still is.
yeah.
And they were farming out the product. They couldn't keep up with production. Now, here's where a little problem happens for them. Remember that handshake deal? If this is a deal, we're
Yeah,
going to pay
yeah.
you royalties. They didn't pay any royalties and they got sued.
Shoot, they should have paid the royalties.
On top of that, knockoffs happened, right? Because
Yeah.
it was pretty easy to copy and people were making it cheaper. And then by the end of 1958, they actually reported a loss because of so much of this
Really?
competition going on. Yeah.
Okay.
So they stopped production. They've got growing debt. They've got a warehouse full of unsold product. So they need to find another hit because what they've noticed is in their business model is a toy gets hot and then it drops off. So what they suddenly realize is they need to constantly be looking for these new ideas. So Robert Carrier is a guy from the upholstery industry, and he came home one day to see his son sliding on the concrete driveway because it was wet. Again, remember,
Sure,
50s,
I
right?
and anything to entertain yourself as a kid.
He takes some Naga hide,
Uh-huh.
incorporates a hose and holes, and now you've got
The slip and slide.
right,
Yeah.
right. So basically, the guys at Wham-O come across this idea and they replace it with vinyl plastic, and you've got slip and
Yeah,
slide.
yeah.
And when they launched Slip and Slide, it sold like 3,000 units in the first few months,
Mhm.
right? Another inventor comes and sees them, Norman Stringley, who's a petrochemical engineer who specializes in rubber. And he makes this really dense, high bouncing ball that could also spin in reverse.
Okay. This is like the yeah. Super
right?
Bowl.
Bingo, the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Smash hit. 6,000,000 sold in 1965 alone.
Well, and it was just I think it was just a couple years before that with the Absent-Minded Professor and Flubber. If you remember
Yeah.
Flubber? Right?
Yeah,
So
right.
that was like Super Bowl was having a ball made out of Flubber.
Yeah, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but seemingly the whole Super Bowl thing was also part of the inspiration for creating the name of the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, and again, this is one of those ones I could not find confirmation of it. It may just be one of those things that's a great story that now is
Yeah.
part of the world
The
out there.
Zeitgeist? The
Yeah, the
Zeitgeist?
zeitgeist, yeah, that's it, that's and then in 1959, the Wham-O bird ornithopter, which was this,
Mm.
aluminum spars and all this other and brightly painted to look like a hawk or an owl, and it was rubber band. Remember those things? They
Uh-huh.
were rubber
Yeah.
band
Yeah.
powered. They were about, like, $3, and they made 600,000 of those, and then
It was
and
brightly painted so you could see it up in the tree when it got stuck.
yeah,
And
yeah.
now you're like, "Oh, shoot."
And then they created the wheelie bar, which was something that was great for attaching to a Swin
Yeah.
bicycle,
Yeah.
and the air blaster and the bubble thing. Like, one of the things that they just did was they realized they needed to just continually be making new ideas because the cycle for their types of toys, they would go really popular and drop off, really popular,
Mhm.
drop off, really popular. In 1969, they did Silly String. Remember Silly String?
Sure. Yeah.
Right? The hacky sack in '83. So just on and on and on and on, they would do these things. And in 1982, I was never able to find the price that Wham-O was sold for, but Wham-O was sold to Kransco Group companies in '82, and then in '94, Mattel bought them.
Wow.
Then in '97, Wham-O became independent again,
Oh,
and
really?
then in 2006, they were sold to Cornerstone Overseas Investment Limited for $80 million.
Stay tuned. We're going to wrap up this story and tell you how to apply this lesson to your business right after this.
Hey.
What?
Shh. Steven created something new.
That's not surprising. Why are you being so quiet?
Well, not very many people know.
Really?
Yes, it's new and it's amazing.
Like tail wagging amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me.
Using storiestosell.com.
Okay.
It's a new free 90-minute session.
Why?
Because people have a hard time figuring out how to tell their business story.
Yeah, and?
This leverages Steven's TEDx talk on the 4 ingredients for telling a compelling story.
It's a great talk for sure, but how can...
Don't worry. You'll get help figuring out your story quickly, and you'll have one you can use right away. You'll even learn where to use it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you can sign up at usingstoriestosell.com.
Wait, isn't our tea time coming up?
Oh, yeah, let's go.
You're away, Dave.
Let's pick up our story where we left off, and trust me, you haven't missed a thing.
Then in '97, Wham-O became independent again,
Oh, really?
and then in 2006, they were sold to Cornerstone Overseas Investment Limited for $80 million. So the one thing I can
Huh.
find to put a value to Wham-O was they were bought, they went independent, and then they were sold again for, $80 million. So I always
Yeah.
like to try to go, like, what was this company worth?
Those guys probably left when it got sold the first time, would be my
Yes.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
here's my observation of this. These guys weren't making games. Like,
Oh,
hacky sack
interesting.
sort of became a game,
Mhm.
right? Because you could play it with several people. You'd have people in a circle all
Yeah.
smacking the hacky sack around. In fact, I have one. I thought it was laying back here. It's sitting on my desk or around here somewhere in this pile
Cool.
of stuff. But it's one of the little original leather ones, right?
Nice.
And
Yeah.
but my observation is this is a stretch. Okay.
Okay.
This is just me.
Do I need
following
to
a
sit
thread.
down? Do I need to
No,
sit
I don't
down?
think so. I don't think so. I think, in fact, knowing you as well as I do, I think you'll jump right on board with this.
Okay.
These guys were making fidget toys. These guys were making things that you could do yourself just by yourself, right?
With the one
and it's
exception
not
being
necessarily hula.
or frisbee would be the one exception, but hula you could do yourself.
Yeah,
All these
well,
other things you could do
the people
yourself.
figured out how to make like frisbee golf courses, and then you could play that
Oh,
by
that's true.
yourself.
Oh, that's true.
right? You're
That's
just
true.
throwing towards a goal. But
Yeah.
they didn't make frisbee as a game. They made it as an activity.
Yes.
So you could say they're activities, but
Yes.
they were also things that you could just go do this activity and just be outside playing with something
Yes.
and be out on the driveway bouncing your super ball or um,
I remember having a Super Bowl. They were
twirling your
fun
hula hoop or shooting at things with the original
with the meat.
slingshot. Um, the meat slinger. They had to quickly pivoted from that because like I don't think falconry ever got huge, right? They were looking at things that were just kind of cool and I say fidget toys because even as we record these things, I have 4 or 5 things on my desk that I always have in my hand,
Yes.
and I'm always just doing something, right? It
Yeah.
it keeps my brain focused on this conversation instead of, um,
And we just
wandering
didn't
all over
have
the
the
place.
terminology fidget toy, right?
Well, here's the other
But it was
thing.
right.
If you wanna take it a step further, um, ADHD wasn't known about then.
Correct. It was
But
around, but we
sure,
did but
there
we
were
didn't.
lots of kids with ADHD that, needed, just take your Super Bowl outside. Like, you could kill a lot of time
Right.
goofing off with a Wham-O toy.
Well, and a great example of that is, I was only diagnosed a few years ago
Yeah,
as having
same.
ADHD,
Mhm,
so gone through my entire life with it, not
mhm.
knowing, mind you, if I look close enough, the signs were there, but,
Well, sure, yeah.
um
Like, when I told people, I think mine was almost 10 years ago, but anytime I'd tell somebody, like, "Oh, wait, you didn't know? You didn't know?
No, I was distracted, I
The
didn't
rest of
notice.
us knew." Like, "How
Um
long have you been having these memory problems?" "For as long as I can remember." That's
So not long.
yeah, I don't know.
But the one thing I wanna tie back to on Wham-O, and it's a great observation that that's what they were basically creating, is the thing that they noticed very quickly was this was their natural business. Their natural business was you create something, it's a hit, and it falls off.
Mhm.
And they just bought into it. They said, "That's the nature of this business. So what you need to do is continually be looking for these new ideas." So
The
this is the
new
reason why,
thing.
like, we didn't talk very much about they literally had this open door policy. If you were an inventor of a
Yeah,
toy, you could come see them. And look, they looked at a lot of crap, but at the same time that they knew that they had to constantly be out there. It's not about, "Oh my god, we're making all this money from the hula." What they learned from the hula, because it almost killed their business, is they need to be constantly looking for that next idea, that next idea. And it's not about, "Oh, it's dropped off. We've gotta revive this with marketing." Toys, especially in those days, had
yeah.
this natural cycle that it
Mhm,
went through. They bought into, "This is the way it is, so we gotta constantly be looking for new ideas and
mhm,
filling that pipeline and creating it," and then also recognizing, when this thing drops off, we've gotta manage that drop off.
mhm.
I really like the fact that they just really saw their business for what it was and said, "Okay, given that's what it is, this is how we have to manage things."
Yeah. And honestly, like, this fits it so well because the inventors are probably they're just, like, figuring out something that they enjoyed, right?
Bingo.
I made this little thing out of paper clips, and look what it does, and it's kinda fun, and, I think you could take it
Yeah,
to the next level.
yeah.
I think there's lots of things like that, and so they were filling that need of these inventors who were probably just solving their own little, attention
Well,
problem.
right.
Mhm.
"Oh, I discovered my kid was doing this, I did this, and they're now having fun with it,
Yeah,
and
and
all the neighborhood kids are coming
frisbee's a
over
way
and
to
doing it."
a way to play a game of catch without needing a glove and a ball or pretending you're playing baseball, right? And so if you weren't a baseball player, you probably didn't run around with a glove and baseball anyway. So
Well, and
it was a way
a
to
and the
and most of these toys, you didn't need anybody else.
you
Frisbee
didn't
you
need
did, but it
anybody
was just a
else.
game of catch.
Right, and also what they recognized is people would very quickly, like with hula and frisbee and all these things, people would very quickly figure out their own ways to make
Of
it fun and do strange things, which then
gamify it.
also made it more people gamified it on
Yeah.
their own and
Yeah.
will gamify it on their
Mhm.
own. Give kids a bunch of stuff, they'll gamify it.
I'm sure it wasn't too long before there was the first person in the Guinness Book of World Records for hula hoop,
Oh, for sure.
right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
because you
absolutely.
just see how long you can do it, you see how many spins you can
Yeah.
do it.
And again, the interesting part to me was it didn't start as, "Hey, we're making this toy." It was, "We
Yeah.
made this thing," and then
Mhm.
they started to discover that it was fun,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was just fun on their own firing it without the Falcons, and now it's a toy.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Um,
so
the story of
Wham-O!
Wham-O, it's a sound. It's right, and you even I know this is an audio podcast, but just do a Google search for the Wham-O logo, right? It's a sound, you can hear it when you read it, and you can see
Yes,
that it's in motion, right?
yes.
All of these things had that in common too. Everything was about motion and something moving, some kind of action.
Well, the other thing that's really smart about the Wham-O logo is it's colorful, but the other thing is the way they've done the Wham-O, like, if you really look at it carefully, it's the letters at the beginning are big and it gets smaller,
Mhm.
which is kinda how you would say whammo, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you actually listen to it, the sound that, drops off, and even the way they drew it, they were drawing upon the common way in which comics convey this, and if you think
Yes.
about it, at the time, you would have had also things like Batman with the
Yeah,
"pow."
absolutely. Yeah.
So they were also tying into a popular zeitgeist of communication, which is really brilliant.
That probably was also attractive to these same kids,
Correct. Oh,
right? And
yeah,
they would
correct.
recognize they would see the language of the comic book in the logo of
Bingo.
Wham-O, and
Immediately. Mhm.
the way it recedes, it's not that it gets smaller, is in your brain, it's that it's getting farther away,
No, but that's what I'm
right? But
no, what I
yeah.
meant by, just trying to explain since we're on a
Yeah.
podcast that the lettering gets
Mhm.
smaller,
But it
but in
gives
our
you that
brain
feeling of motion.
bingo.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they managed to put sound, color, and motion into a
Correct.
static logo.
Correct.
And that's a super cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, really amazing thing to
Mhm.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
This is a
Very
long
cool.
episode. Do you wanna hear about this client I mentioned at the beginning?
Go ahead, Dave.
Short story. And this is a air conditioning client in Tucson, and his company was named Tailored Mechanical.
'Kay.
I think he listens to the podcast, so he's probably gonna hear this and go, "Oh my god." But we're in the middle of rebranding, and we asked him when he became a client, like, are you okay with us recommending a change in the name of the company? Because Tailored Mechanical doesn't exactly tell you that they're an air conditioning repair company, right? I'm not sure what they do if you tell me mechanical, right? They're not auto mechanics and they don't fix elevators and things like that. I don't know. So, but anyway, his name's Chris Plunkett and his wife's name is Scarlett. And so, like, we gave him a couple of new name suggestions, knowing the one that we really wanted him to pick. We gave him one that had like air conditioning in the title, just the typical thing. And then we're like, yeah, I mean, your wife's name is pretty cool. You could call this company Scarlett. There's no other air conditioner company named Scarlett. That would be
Yep.
a cool name.
Yep.
But dude, everybody already just calls you Plunkett
Right.
because it's a sound and it's fun to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
that's the name of your company,
Yeah.
Plunkett. And the logo is like Wham-O. It's got motion in it.
Nice.
It's bigger at both ends because there's a pop pop,
Yep.
right? There's two syllables and they're both kind of consonants, Plunkett.
Mhm.
And so that's
Yeah.
going to be fun, and we're going to
That
have
will
fun
be
with it.
fun.
It's going to like it's almost going to feel like a Wham-O kind of a brand. But
Yeah.
the whole goal, remember, the whole goal with companies like this is that we just need to make him memorable,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, and anyway, I love the Wham-O story. I love that this is the kind of smart decisions that people can make that um, closely make their brand memorable.
Yeah.
Rememberable is even
Y
a better word. It's not a
yes.
word.
Yes. That's awesome. That'll be a fun campaign. We
Mhm.
should, you should send me some of the ads, and we should put them
Yeah,
in
I mean,
on
we
the
haven't even got to that
podcast.
stage yet. We just got the
Okay.
trucks wrapped, and people are looking.
When you've got that, send it along, we'll put
Do,
them in the
do,
podcast.
you know what we're doing to make the trucks also have motion even when they're sitting still?
What are you
They've got the
doing?
big logo. They've got the big logo on them, and they're brightly colored. They're different colors on both sides,
Yeah.
and we've put NASCAR style numbers on the doors,
Oh,
like
nice. That's
big,
fun.
big, big numbers.
That's fun.
And just people scratch their heads. They're like, well, it's just science. Trucks go faster if they have numbers on them. That's have you never watched a race?
That's just science. All right, David, that's fun. That's fun, man.
It's fun to have a client that lets you do fun things in the aim of creating entertainment, and that's the
Yeah.
currency of attention.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
Thank you,
That's
Stephen.
awesome.
Great.
So much fun. Thanks, David.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Please share us, subscribe on your favorite podcast app, and leave us a big, fat, juicy 5-star rating and review at Apple Podcasts. And if you'd like to schedule your own 90-minute empire building session, you can do it at empirebuildingprogram.com.